The story of Alban is a remarkable one. It not only takes us back to the beginning of the Christian faith in Britain and to a time when religious freedom was forbidden, but it's also an astonishing account of standing up for what you believe in. This is Alban. You can recognise him by that blue cloak and the yellow band on it. And if you've ever been to St Alban's Abbey, you'll see their flag is that same colours. Alban lived in the early 3rd century, so that's 1,700 years ago, and he lived in the Roman city of Verulamium, just down the hill from where the cathedral stands today. You might have been to the Roman Museum or to the park in Verulamium. One day, Alban gave shelter to a stranger who was fleeing for his life. The stranger was a Christian priest. His name was Amphibolus. While sheltering the priest, Alban was inspired by how important faith was to the priest, and he asked to be taught more about Christianity. It wasn't long until the Roman authorities caught up with Amphibolus. However, Alban's newfound faith wouldn't allow him to let the authorities arrest the priest. Instead, Alban exchanged clothes with Amphibolus and was arrested, allowing the priest to escape. Alban refused to renounce his beliefs. Famously, he said, "I am called Alban, and I worship and adore the true and living God." The magistrates ordered that he should receive the punishment intended for the escaped priest. Upon this ruling, Alban was led out to Verulamium and up the hillside where he was beheaded. Alban is honoured as the first British saint, and his grave on this hillside quickly became a place of pilgrimage, and it's where St Alban's Abbey is now. It's an extraordinary man doing an extraordinary thing, and his story continues to inspire people today. I don't know whether you've ever visited the Abbey and the amazing church which is there. There are a couple other parts to the story. One is supposedly that as he was executed, a fountain came out of the ground, and that's why it's called Holy Well Hill, a well of water coming up, the living water which came rushing out. Another thing is that a rose grew there, and that's why we've got this activity if you want it to colour in roses, or a thing of how to make your own rose. And one of the other strange parts on it is supposedly the soldier who executed Alban, his eyes popped out of his head. And so if you ever go to the St Alban's pilgrimage on years when it's happening, you'll see people carrying great big eyeballs along with them. A little bit gory, isn't it? But, you know, it's fun, isn't it, as part of the story. There's another part of the story which no one apart from me thinks happened. And so this is made up by me totally, but I like it. You see, from St Albans across to the other side of the country, over Gloucester Way in the country, is a famous road, the Icknield Way. You've heard of that, haven't you? Yeah, because the Icknield Way runs through Tring, so it comes from St Albans to Tring. And I think that if Amphibolus had to run away for his life, there's a good chance he'd have got onto a Roman road and gotten as far as he could in a day. And that makes me think that maybe on the first Christian saint the day afterwards, maybe the priest who inspired him ended up in Tring. And just maybe the reason why we've got church in Tring is because of Amphibolus. Absolutely no evidence about that whatsoever, but I like to believe it because it makes Tring seem even more special than we know it is already, don't we? God, our strength and Redeemer, whose church was strengthened by the faith of Alban, bind us together that our lives may proclaim your glory. Amen.